everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Angela. If you don't already know me, I make career videos on YouTube. I'm an investment banking analyst at a bulge bracket bank in New York City, and I thought it would be really relevant today to talk about work-life balance. I'd say I work on average about 80 hours or so per week. So how does work-life balance work? That's one of the most common questions I get, and it's something that I myself have had to learn over the past year. So tip number one, quality over quantity. Know what you love to do, know what makes you happy, and do that. Right now, I've been 1 year into working. Like I said before, my hours are pretty long on weekdays. I'll generally work around 15 to 16 hours or so, and I work oftentimes on weekends as well. During school, I'd say it was quite the opposite. I had maybe about 2 to 3 classes per day that were just over an hour each, so I had a lot more free time. If only I could balance those two, right? But here's what I'll say. My freshman year, it was great. I spent a lot of time meeting new people and going to clubs. So those things really filled up my time and I really enjoy that. But for my senior year, I had a lot less classes just because I took so many more during the first 3 years of my college experience. And by my last year, I had barely any more credits to complete, so I was taking very few classes. I did travel around a bit, but for the most part, I wasn't doing much. And so even though I had a lot of time, there wasn't really a balance because I spent so much of that time just being bored and kind of in a rut, not knowing what to do. Now, I'd say it's quite the opposite. I don't have nearly as much free time, but any free time I have is so precious to me that I feel like I spend it pretty wisely. So for me, things that I like to do are I like to be outside. It doesn't have to be anything adventurous like hiking or water rafting or things like that. I just like to take walks around outside and kind of explore. I'm a huge foodie. If you really love food too, follow me on my food Instagram page at Sunny Eats, SUNNYEATZ. I post lots of food videos and food pictures there. So that's something that I personally like to do and what I think is quality time. If quality time to you means taking a nap, watching Netflix, maybe reading a good book, anything like that, then that's up to you. Personally, I think work-life balance depends on each and every person and how they spend it. It's more about how you feel in the end. Do you feel centered? Do you feel happy? And that's how you know if you have a good work-life balance. So another tip that I have is take small breaks during the day. This is something that I need to tell myself as well. So when you're working a lot during the day, it's easy to just get in the grind and keep sitting at your desk and continue working. But a lot of the times, it can even be more productive to just take a small break away from your computer, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, half an hour, an hour. Take a break and get yourself out of the mindset of work. So for me, I'd say I'm really responsive over email. Even if I step away for a little bit, I keep pretty close track of my phone for any email notifications that come up. But I personally think it's nice to just take a small break and go for a walk around the block. If someone needs you within those 10 minutes, you're gone and you're not there, who cares, right? You're not an emergency room surgeon. Not everything has to be so ASAP. As long as you're pretty readily available, I personally think that's fine. There comes to a point where you have to think about your own mental health and your own physical health, and these breaks are important for yourself. Third tip I have is make time for self-care. It's non-negotiable. You make time for work, so why can't you do the same for self-care? Now, self-care is different for everyone. For me personally, skincare is really important to me. I like to spend some time every day, even if it's a few minutes or so, just taking good care of my skin. It makes me feel better as a person. It makes me feel like I'm taking care of myself. Remember to drink lots of water. That's good for you. Exercise, you know, not everyone is the type of person who wakes up early in the morning and exercises. I'm also not like that, but I do try to fit in a few exercises here and there when I have some time. I fit in some stretches. I'm not doing long exercises, like 30 minutes or an hour by any means, but it's really short. But I do try to fit in maybe a 5-minute exercise a couple of times during the day, and that personally just makes me feel a little more stretched out and more at ease. For example, I'll just be wearing my regular work from home clothes, and then I'll just get on the floor and do a few, what's it called? The thing, oh, planks. I do a few planks. So maybe I'll do a plank for like 30 seconds to a minute or so, and then I'll do some push-ups, and then I'll do some high knees, and then I'll run in place a little bit. It's not much, and it's not much, but I'd say it adds up. It makes me feel mentally better. Hopefully it makes me a little bit more physically healthy that I'm moving. But because I'm only away for a short amount of time from my computer, it doesn't make me feel stressed out that, you know, I'll be in the middle of like a long workout at the gym or something and they need to call me back. I'll just be at home and I'll do these quick workouts. For other people, what does self-care mean? You need to think about that for yourself. Does it mean doing some yoga, some meditation during the day, reading a book, watching some YouTube or some Netflix before you sleep? That's something that I do. Even if I've had a long day, even if I end at 3 a.m. or so, I'll still watch a short YouTube video for maybe half an hour or so in bed. Make self-care non-negotiable. You have to make time for yourself. You can't keep waiting for time from work because that time may never come. You don't know when you'll have these gaps, things come up, and so you have to break out these times that are non-negotiable that are for yourself. Think about it like this. Sometimes work calls come up randomly, life happens, things like that, but you make time for those things when they come up. So you have to make time for caring about yourself too. So the next tip that I have is to disconnect. And I don't mean be unresponsive in terms of work emails, but just an example of what I like to do is that at the end of the day, when I know I don't have any more work yet, and right before I sleep, I spend a few minutes just calming my mind and emptying my mind. I find that because I work late hours and I usually end work not long before I sleep, there's always this adrenaline in me. And so that's something that I try to get rid of before I sleep. So what I do is I'll close my eyes and I'll just think about what I'm thankful for. I'll think about what my priorities are during the day, and that's one way for me to try and calm myself and be more mindful of my life and what's present. So I think that disconnecting is also relevant, not just for work, but just in terms of the demands of life and things that worry you. You want to be able to disconnect and feel present with your body and feel mindful of your body. It's easy to just get caught up in the little voices in your head talking about work and getting stressed out, and I just don't think that's a very good way to end off your day. And my very last tip for maintaining a good work-life balance is to have a to-do list. Now, I'd say usually when I have a lot of different things to do, I like to just take maybe a minute or so and just write it all down. That helps me clear my mind and get all of my thoughts organized as to what I need to do and how much time it will take. That way I don't end up wasting more time just getting confused and having to juggle so many different things where I'm not sure what I should start first. It helps me prioritize and it helps me focus in on these items so I don't end up spending more time than I need on them. So thank you so much for watching my video. If you did find these tips helpful and you'd like to watch more videos like this, I do a lot of career videos and I also do some travel videos here and there. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, hit that bell so that you get a notification every time I upload a new video. I'm trying to upload a video at least once a week. So far I've been doing twice a week, and this is capacity provided given my hours, but as I said before, you need to make time for yourself, and right now I'm trying to make YouTube an obligation for me. Let me know in the comments down below what other videos you would like to see. I really do hope you all found this video helpful. Again, thank you so much for watching. Bye!